Today we're going to talk about cellular respiration, and cellular respiration is another important chemical reaction. It's a chemical reaction where all cells are going to use oxygen to release the stored chemical energy that's found in sugars such as glucose. So I underlined some important things here to remember. One is that it is a chemical reaction. Just like photosynthesis, atoms are going to be broken apart and regrouped in a different way to make a new substance. This one, though, occurs in all cells. Photosynthesis is just plant cells. Cellular respiration is going to occur in all cells because all cells need to release that stored chemical energy, the energy that plants store in a molecule of glucose. And in order to do that, they have to have oxygen to react with that glucose. So here is the chemical equation for respiration. It is O2, which is oxygen, reacts with glucose, which is C6H12O6, to release the energy in that glucose that's stored in the chemical bonds of its atoms. And waste products that are given off are going to be H2O, which is water, and carbon dioxide, which is CO2. So again, remember that in a chemical equation, it's a way to summarize a chemical reaction. You're going to have the things that you start with, your starting substances, which are reactants, your ending substances, which are your products. And again, energy is not included as a product because it is not matter. It doesn't have mass, it doesn't take up space, and it is energy. Alright, you may have noticed again that the first equation was not balanced, and we talked earlier in the year about the law of conservation of mass. So here is the balanced chemical equation for cellular respiration, meaning that all of the atoms that we start with have to be present after, because we're not making atoms during a chemical reaction, we're not destroying them, we're simply breaking them apart and regrouping them to make new substances. So here you can see that our reactants equal our products now that we've balanced the chemical equation. So anytime cellular respiration occurs, you're going to have 6 molecules of O2, so there's 12 oxygen, and you have 6 oxygen here for a total of 18. You have 6 carbon atoms, and you have 12 hydrogen atoms. After the reaction, again, you're going to have the exact same number because all of those atoms are present somewhere. Here, they're going to be present in 6 molecules of H2O, so we're going to have 6 atoms of oxygen here, and we're going to have 6 CO2, so that means O2 is going to be there 6 times, so that's going to be 12. 6 plus 12 means we have 18 atoms of oxygen. For carbon, again, we're going to have 6 atoms of carbon here, and we're going to have 12 atoms of hydrogen. We have H2 6 different times, so that means we have 12 atoms of hydrogen. Another important thing to know about cellular respiration is where it happens in the cells. It's going to happen in the organelle called the mitochondria. We've already learned that this is called the power plant or the powerhouse of the cell. The reason it's called that is because it's going through this chemical reaction. It's the actual organelle that's taking in the glucose and the oxygen, breaking them apart, releasing the energy that was stored in the chemical bonds of that glucose molecule, and giving off carbon dioxide and water as waste products. And it's interesting to note that cells that use more energy are going to have more mitochondria. Your muscle cells are going to have more mitochondria than other types of cells. If you start exercising and maybe running long distances, your body is actually going to start building more mitochondria in your cells in response to that need for increased energy. Our other important things to know about cellular respiration is that without it, the energy that gets stored during photosynthesis would just be stuck there. The plants actually have to go through both processes. They're going to store the sun's energy through photosynthesis, and then they have to release it back out. If not, it wouldn't be usable if we didn't have this chemical reaction taking place to release that stored energy in the bonds of the glucose's atoms. And because of that, if you can't get the energy back out, the cell is going to die. All living things need energy. Cells are living things. With no energy, cells would die. Another important thing is that this puts carbon dioxide and water back into the environment, and that's going to be used in photosynthesis because cellular respiration is the exact opposite reaction of photosynthesis. So while cellular respiration is giving off carbon dioxide and water, photosynthesis is using those two things as the reactants. Photosynthesis is going to give off glucose and oxygen. Those are the reactants that are going to be used in cellular respiration.